Hello everyone. Today's my lecture is on acid-base disorder. In previous class, we studied about the basic concept related to acid-base disorder and what is the normal pH of the body fluid, what are the sources of acid and base generated in the human body, and how the blood pH is regulated within the normal range. What are the different mechanisms like buffer system, respiratory mechanism, and renal mechanism. In today's lecture, we see about the various disorders associated with acid-base disturbance. So let's start with the learning objective of today's lecture. Learning objectives of the today's lecture. First, we see the classification of acid-base disorders. Then we see the how to assess this acid-base disorder, and then we see how this acid-base disorder get compensated. Whenever there is a change in pH, body try to bring the pH normal. So there is a compensatory mechanism. So how this acid-base disorder get compensated, and in the last we see the different causes of acid-base disorder in detail. So let's get started with the classification of acid-base disorders. All we know there are acidosis and alkalosis. Each one, acidosis and alkalosis, is further can be of two types. It can be metabolic acidosis or respiratory acidosis. And alkalosis has also similar two types: metabolic alkalosis and respiratory alkalosis. And this acid base disorder can be purely uncompensated acid base disorder, or they may be compensated acid base disorder. This compensation may be partial or fully compensated acid base disorder. So first we see the uncompensated acid base disorder. These are the metabolic acidosis, metabolic alkalosis, respiratory acidosis, and respiratory alkalosis. These are the uncompensated disorder. Second one is the compensated acid base disorder. All we know acidosis is get compensated by alkalosis, and alkalosis is get compensated by acidosis. So metabolic component get compensated by respiratory component, and vice versa, means respiratory component get compensated by metabolic one. So these are the compensated acid base disorder, like metabolic acidosis compensated by respiratory alkalosis, metabolic alkalosis get compensated by respiratory acidosis, respiratory acidosis compensated by metabolic alkalosis, respiratory alkalosis compensated by metabolic acidosis. These are the compensated acid base disorder. There may be sometime mixed disorder, like metabolic acidosis associated with metabolic alkalosis, metabolic acidosis associated with respiratory acidosis, metabolic acidosis associated with respiratory alkalosis. Any combination of four these can be present in the mixed acid base disorder. And respiratory acidosis or alkalosis can be acute or chronic depending upon the time of presentation. So these are the disorder associated with acid base disorder, their classification. Next we see how to assess this acid base disorder. So this acid base disorder is assessed by the arterial blood gas analysis. So this is assessed by arterial blood gas analysis. As the name suggests, this blood is collected from the artery. So it's a arterial blood gas analysis. And sample is collected in the heparinase syringe. What is the anticoagulant? It is heparin. So sample is collected in heparin. You can see here. This is the heparinase syringe in which sample is collected, and this is a sample input port, and this full is the ABG machine. Next, what are the parameters that we look for while interpreting the ABG reports? So, this parameter is the first one is the pH. Normal pH, all we know, it's a 7.35 to 7.45. Less than that, it's the acidosis. More than that, is the alkalosis. Next parameter is the bicarbonate. Normal range is 22 to 26 millimole per liter. Next parameter is the partial pressure of carbon dioxide. Normal range is 35 to 45 millimeter of mercury. Next parameter is the partial pressure of oxygen. It's a 90 to 100 mmHg. And last is the base excess or base deficit. Normal range is +2 to -2. So from this acid base this parameter we can interpret the ABG report. First, as we see it the pH, by seeing the value of pH we can decide that there is acidosis or alkalosis. Same here, base excess or base deficit. If there is a base excess, then it's the alkalosis, and if there is base deficit, then it's a acidosis. Next is the saturation of oxygen, partial pressure of oxygen. From this we can see the is there is any hypoxia or not here, and these two parameters, bicarbonate and partial pressure of carbon dioxide, is very important to decide which one is the primary acid base disorder and which one is the compensatory acid base disorder. So what happened to this bicarbonate and partial pressure of carbon dioxide during the different acid base disorder? All we know, this bicarbonate is the base. Why base? Because it can accept the proton, so it's the base. And what happened to base in acidosis and in alkalosis? This base is decrease in case of acidosis and increase in case of alkalosis. So, and this bicarbonate is handled by the kidney by increasing the reabsorption and increasing the excretion through the kidney. So it's a metabolic component. If this metabolic component decrease, then there is a acidosis, and if this bicarbonate component is increased, then it's a metabolic alkalosis. Second is the partial pressure of carbon dioxide. Normal range is this 35 to 45. As we know, this partial pressure of carbon dioxide or dissolved carbon dioxide has a direct in equilibrium with the H2CO3, which is the acid, and this is the handled by the lungs. So it's under respiratory control, and it's an acid. So increase in acid leads to acidosis, and decrease in this leads to alkalosis. So same here, increase, this is the acid, nothing but increase in case of acidosis and decrease in case of alkalosis. Okay, now next comes to Anderson-Hasselbalch equation. All we know, pH equal to pKa plus log of base to acid ratio, and in this pKa value, pK is the constant for given assay. So pH has the direct relation with this base to acid ratio, and in human body there is a bicarbonate buffer system. So in the bicarbonate buffer system, the base is the bicarbonate and acid is the carbonic acid H2CO3. So this pH has a direct relation with this ratio, bicarbonate to carbonic acid ratio, because this is the constant. So this pH has a direct relation with this bicarbonate, and normally in the blood this ratio of bicarbonate to carbonic acid is 20 to 1. Exact value of this bicarbonate in the blood is 24, and this is the 1.2, and this ratio of this comes to 20 to 1. ठीक है. Next, as I said earlier, bicarbonate is the base and it's handled by the kidney, so it's a metabolic component. And carbonic acid is the acid and it's handled by the lung, so it's a respiratory component. The, till now, whatever we discussed is the pH less than 7.35 is the acidosis and more than 7.45 is the alkalosis. Now, acidosis can be due to two reasons: due to increased acid and due to decreased base. So, as I said, partial pressure of carbon dioxide is nothing but dissolved carbon dioxide, and it has a direct relation, means in equilibrium with the H2CO3, which is the acid. So, increase in PCO2 leads to increase in H2CO3, which is the acid. So, increase this partial pressure of carbon dioxide leads to acidosis, but this component is handled by the respiratory mechanism, so it's a respiratory acidosis. And this bicarbonate is the base, which is the decrease in case of acidosis. So acidosis can be due to two reasons: decreased bicarbonate means decreased base, or increased partial pressure of carbon dioxide means increased acid. Same here. Alkalosis can be due to two reasons: decreased acid and increased alkali or base. So alkali or base is the bicarbonate. So increase in bicarbonate leads to metabolic alkalosis, and decrease in partial pressure of carbon dioxide leads to respiratory alkalosis. Next, now you have to answer what happens if there is an increase in partial pressure of carbon dioxide. Increasing partial pressure of carbon dioxide means increase in H2CO3, increase in acid. It's the acidosis, and this acidosis is of which type? It's a respiratory. Why? Because it's a bicarbonate or carbonic acid. Sorry, it's a partial pressure of carbon dioxide or carbonic acid is handled by the lung. What happened to this decreased partial pressure of carbon dioxide? It's a respiratory alkalosis. What happened if there is an increase in bicarbonate? So it's a obvious. Bicarbonate the metabolic one, so it's the metabolic. And increase in bicarbonate leads to alkalosis. So it's a metabolic alkalosis. And what happened to this? It's a metabolic acidosis. So now it's clear. Increase in PCO2 leads to respiratory acidosis. Decrease in PCO2 leads to respiratory alkalosis. Increase in bicarbonate leads to metabolic alkalosis. Decrease in bicarbonate leads to metabolic acidosis. Now comes to next. Whenever there is a change in pH, so body try to bring the pH to the normal. It's a normal body's response. Why there is a compensatory mechanism? Body try to bring the pH normal. Why? Because if pH is not regulated within the certain limit, like less than 7 or more than 7.77, this both leads to the death, because there is a change in different biomolecule, change in transport of oxygen, change, there is a suppression or depression of various systems like respiratory system, CNS, CVS. So all this effect leads to death because body not compatible with life. So there is the always compensatory mechanism. How now comes to how the compensation of acid base disorder will occur. All we know the Anderson-Asselberg equation, the pH equal to pKa plus log of base to acid ratio. And all we know the pK is the dissociation constant of the acid, so it's a constant value. So pH, to regulate the pH within the normal range, we have to only deal with this ratio, bicarbonate to carbonic acid ratio. And all we know this bicarbonate is the under directly regulated by kidney, and this H2CO3 is directly regulated by lung or respiratory mechanism. So whenever there is a change in bicarbonate, for example, there is a increase in bicarbonate, and all we know this ratio of bicarbonate to carbonic acid is the 20:1. So if there is an increase in this ratio by increasing bicarbonate, to bring the ratio normal, how it happened? It only happened by increasing the carbonic acid. So increasing bicarbonate is compensated by increasing carbonic acid. Decreasing bicarbonate is compensated by decreasing carbonic acid. Now comes to another way. If there is a increasing carbonate, so this ratio 20 to 1 decrease. So to bring the ratio normal, what do you have compensatory mechanism by increasing carbonic bicarbonate. If there is a decrease in H2CO3, so to keep the ratio normal, would you decrease the bicarbonate level. So this is the some compensatory mechanism by which pH is normal normalized. pH can be kept within the normal range. So let's see in detail metabolic acidosis. In the metabolic acidosis, there is a decrease in pH, and as I said, it's a metabolic, so there is a change in bicarbonate. And in case of metabolic acidosis, there is a decreasing bicarbonate. Why? Because in acidosis there is a excess amount of H plus, and to neutralize this H plus, bicarbonate is utilized. So there is a decreasing bicarbonate along with the decreasing pH. So according to Henderson-Asselberg equation, this ratio is HCO3 minus and H2CO3 normally is the 20 to 1, but in case of metabolic acidosis this ratio is decreased. Okay, so what happened, this bicarbonate is decreased. Okay, to keep this ratio normal 20 into 1, what are the compensatory mechanism? So compensatory mechanism, as I said earlier, is by decreasing the H2CO3 by decreasing acid. How we can decrease the H2CO3, decrease the acid to bring the peak ratio to the 20 to 1. So all we know this bicarbonic acid is handled by the lungs. So decrease in bicarbonate, and to compensate this loss of bicarbonate, we have a mechanism to decrease the carbonic acid, and it's handled by the lung. So there is a compensation by lung through the hyperventilation. This acidosis stimulates the respiratory center in the brain. So respiratory center gets stimulated. So there is a hyperventilation. What result is because of the hyperventilation? There is a wash out of CO2. So there is a decreased dissolved carbon dioxide. In decreased dissolved carbon dioxide has a direct effect on carbonic acid. So there is a decreased carbonic acid. So this metabolic acidosis get compensated by hyperventilation through the lung. And what is called decreased bicarbonate? Decreased by decreased carbonic acid is the respiratory one, and decrease decreasing acid is the alkalosis. So there is a respiratory alkalosis. So metabolic acidosis is compensated by respiratory alkalosis. Next, metabolic alkalosis. Alkalosis means increase pH and it's metabolic, so there is a increase bicarbonate. Now, according to Anderson-Hasselbalch equation, to bring the pH normal, body how the body get compensated? This increasing bicarbonate is compensated by increasing H2CO3 to bring the ratio normal. This H2CO3 is increased through the lung by hypoventilation. Alkalosis depress the respiratory center, so there is a decrease the rate of minute ventilation or decrease the rate of respiration. So there is a hypoventilation. So there is a accumulation of dissolved carbon dioxide and which get converted into carbonic acid. So there is a increased carbonic acid and increased partial pressure of carbon dioxide. This increased partial pressure of carbon dioxide leads to what type of acidic disorder? It's a respiratory acidosis. So metabolic alkalosis compensated by respiratory acidosis. Okay. Next, respiratory acidosis. What happens in respiratory acidosis? There is a decreased pH and increasing partial pressure of carbon dioxide. According to Anderson-Hasselbalch equation, we have to compensate this acid-base disorder. So how the compensation occur? Here there is a increase in partial pressure of carbon dioxide, means increase in H2CO3 to bring the pH ratio normal 20 to 1. How we keep this ratio normal, bring the ratio to the normal? Only by increasing the bicarbonate through the kidney, by increasing the reabsorption of bicarbonate or reclamation of bicarbonate. So respiratory acidosis is compensated by kidney by increasing the reabsorption of the bicarbonate through the kidney and excretion of H plus. So respiratory acidosis is compensated by metabolic alkalosis. In the last, respiratory alkalosis. So there is a increased pH. Alkalosis means increase in pH. Respiratory means change in partial pressure of carbon dioxide. So in case of alkalosis, there is a decrease in acid. So there is a decrease in partial pressure of carbon dioxide. How the compensation occur? According to Henderson-Hasselbalch equation, to bring the pH, to bring the ratio normal, this decrease in H2CO3 means decrease PCO2. So there is a increase the ratio, this ratio. So to bring this ratio normal out by decreasing HCO3 minus bicarbonate. And how we decrease the HCO3 minus? By only by kidney, by decreasing the reabsorption of bicarbonate. Okay. By decreasing the reabsorption of bicarbonate reclamation, we can excrete the bicarbonate and also decreasing the excretion of H plus. So this is the compensatory mechanism. Respiratory alkalosis compensated by metabolic acidosis. Mm. So this diagram showing the compensation. Look here. This is the uncompensated acid base disorder. This is the partially compensated acid base disorder, and this is the fully compensated acid base disorder. So there is a gradually bodies try to the pH brings to the normal, and this is the example of metabolic acidosis. And in the metabolic acidosis, all we know there is a change in bicarbonate, and this is bring by compensatory mechanism called respiratory mechanism. Here is the normal PCO2, here there is a decreased PCO2, further decrease in PCO2. Okay, same for metabolic alkalosis. Extreme variation of pH bring to the normal and bring to the exit normal value. So metabolic acidosis compensated by respiratory alkalosis, metabolic alkalosis compensated by respiratory acidosis, respiratory acidosis compensated by metabolic alkalosis, and respiratory alkalosis compensated by metabolic acidosis. What are the effect of acidosis and alkalosis? Why we concerned with the regulation of pH? Because effect of acidosis is widespread, like it depresses the CNS, it causes cerebral vasodilatation and edema, cerebral edema. It also stimulate the respiratory center and cause smooth breathing and dyspnea. It depresses the cardiac CVS, decrease the myocardial contractility and cardiac output. So there may be hypotension, there may be cardiac arrhythmia, there may be decreased response to catecholamine. There is a pulmonary edema and tissue hypoxia due to decrease the release of oxygen from the hemoglobin. What is the effect of alkalosis? It's also many, like CVS. There is arterial constriction and reduction in coronary blood flow. There is a arrhythmia. There is a respiratory hyperventilation and hypoxemia. Metabolic changes like hypokalemia, decreased ionized calcium, which may lead to tetany, hypomagnesemia, and hypophosphatemia. So there is also stimulation of anaerobic glycolysis and lactic acid production, which may lead to severe consequences. In the CNS, there is a reduction in coronary blood flow, so there may be tetany, seizure, and delirium. So these are the some effect of acidosis and alkalosis. So there is a very important to regulate the blood pH within the normal range. Now comes to the individual disorder and their causes. So metabolic acidosis, all we know metabolic acidosis due to addition of acid or loss of alkali. So there is a decreased pH with decrease in bicarbonate. All we know what is the compensation. Acidosis is compensated by alkalosis, and metabolic component is compensated by respiratory one. So there is a respiratory alkalosis by which they get compensated. And based on the anion gap, we can classify the metabolic acidosis into three types: high anion gap metabolic acidosis, normal anion gap metabolic acidosis, and low anion gap metabolic acidosis. High anion gap metabolic acidosis is due to increased unmeasured anion like protein, phosphate, organic acid, sulfate, all this. Okay. So now comes to the causes of high anion gap metabolic acidosis. Like ketoacidosis can be due to diabetes, like diabetic ketoacidosis, starvational ketoacidosis, alcoholic ketoacidosis. All this leads to high NN-GAP metabolic acidosis. Second most important cause is the lactic acidosis, which also leads to metabolic acidosis. Third is the renal failure, uremia also leads to metabolic acidosis. And then there is a toxin like methanol, ethylene glycol, peroxide. All this toxin also leads to metabolic acidosis of high NN-GAP. Some drugs like aspirin, isoniazid, iron, ischemia all leads to high NN-GAP metabolic acidosis. Now comes to the normal NN-GAP metabolic acidosis. It is due to loss of bicarbonate. This happens in case of diarrhea, renal insufficiency, renal tubular acidosis, adrenal insufficiency, chronic kidney disease, and intestinal, pancreatic, biliary fistula, and hypoaldosteronism. And some drugs like prostaglandin inhibitor, spironolactone, trimethoprim, amiodarone, trimethoprim, cyclosporin, all this also leads to normal NN-GAP metabolic acidosis. Next is the low NN-GAP metabolic acidosis. It is due to low unmeasured NN or high unmeasured cation. But cause of low NN-GAP metabolic acidosis is hypoalbuminemia and multiple myeloma. What are now comes to the metabolic alkalosis. It is due to loss of acid and addition of alkali or bicarbonate. So there is increased pH and increase in bicarbonate. So what should be compensation? Alkalosis get compensated by acidosis and metabolic component get compensated by respiratory component. So there is a respiratory acidosis. What are the causes of metabolic alkalosis? Metabolic alkalosis cause can be divided into chloride responsive, chloride unresponsive, means chloride resistant. This both is identified by urine chloride level. If urine chloride level is less than 10 millimole per liter, then it's a chloride responsive. And if it is a more than equal to 10 millimole per liter, then it's a chloride responsive. There may be some exogenous addition of base which leads to metabolic alkalosis. So what are the causes of chloride responsive metabolic alkalosis? It's a vomiting, upper GI obstruction like in case of pyloric stenosis, cystic fibrosis, and diuretic therapy leads to chloride responsive type of metabolic alkalosis. And mineralocorticoid excess like hyperaldosteronism, glucocorticoid excess like adrenal problem leads to Cushing syndrome, and pituitary problem leads to Cushing disease. All this leads to metabolic alkalosis. And last one, the Bartter syndrome and Liddle syndrome. All this leads to chloride resistant type of metabolic alkalosis. And exogenous causes are citrate toxicity following the massive blood transfusion, ingestion of large amount of antacid, and large amount of bicarbonate containing fluid leads to metabolic alkalosis. Now next comes to the respiratory acidosis. It is due to hypoventilation, and so there is a decrease in pH and increase in partial pressure of carbon dioxide due to retention of the carbon dioxide. Okay, and what should be compensation? Acidosis get compensated by alkalosis and respiratory component get compensated by metabolic one. So there is a metabolic alkalosis. Now coming to the causes of respiratory acidosis. Any cause of hypoventilation leads to respiratory acidosis. So hypoventilation can be due to directly depressing the drug that depress the respiratory center like narcotics and sedative. CNS trauma, tumor, degenerative disorder, infection of CNS, intracranial hemorrhage, primary central hypoventilation. All these are the causes of CNS respiratory center depression. Next is the airway obstruction due to COPD, status asthmaticus, pulmonary fibrosis, pulmonary infection. Next, respiratory acidosis can be due to disease of the upper airway obstruction like laryngospasm. ARDS, chest wall deformity and disease, nerve damage leads to paralysis of muscle of respiration like GBS, Guillain-Barré syndrome. Impaired lung motion due to pleural effusion and pneumothorax also leads to respiratory acidosis, and in the last, some disease like abdominal distension, excessive obesity, and sleep apnea also leads to respiratory acidosis. Now comes to the last disorder, respiratory alkalosis. It is due to hyperventilation. In respiratory alkalosis, so there is an increase in pH and there is a decrease in PCO2. What should be compensation? So all we know, alkalosis get compensated by acidosis and respiratory component get compensated by metabolic one. So they compensated by metabolic acidosis. What are the causes of respiratory alkalosis? It's due to hyperventilation. Hyperventilation can be due to hypoxia, hysteria, high altitude, hyperthyroidism, anxiety, pulmonary embolism, febrile state, sepsis, meningitis, aspirin, all this leads to respiratory alkalosis. And now comes to the mixed disorder. Like aspirin leads to metabolic acidosis and respiratory alkalosis. Lactic acidosis or diabetic ketoacidosis and vomiting both simultaneously leads to metabolic acidosis and metabolic alkalosis. Cardiopulmonary arrest and renal failure in same patient leads to respiratory and metabolic acidosis. So these are some mixed disorder. Now comes to the summary of the today's class. What are the various disorder associated with acid-base disorder? Like uncompensated primary acid-base disorder like metabolic acidosis, metabolic alkalosis, respiratory acidosis, and respiratory alkalosis. Then we have discussed the compensated acid-base disorder, and then we discussed the mixed acid-base disorder. And then we discuss how to assess this acid-base disorders. We assess this acid-base disorder by the arterial blood gas analysis, and for this we have collected the sample from the artery in heparinized syringe. And to interpret the ABG report, what are the different parameters? It's pH, bicarbonate, partial pressure of carbon dioxide, partial pressure of oxygen, oxygen saturation, and base excess or base deficit. Based on this parameter, we can comes to the diagnosis of acid-base disorder. And then we discuss what are the different compensatory mechanism when there is a derangement in the pH, like metabolic acidosis get compensated by respiratory alkalosis, and metabolic alkalosis get compensated by respiratory acidosis, and respiratory acidosis get compensated by metabolic alkalosis, and respiratory alkalosis get compensated by metabolic acidosis. So these are the various compensatory mechanisms. And then we discuss the various causes associated with acid-base disorder, like what are the causes of metabolic acidosis. It divides on the basis of anion gap: high anion gap metabolic acidosis, normal anion gap metabolic acidosis, and low anion gap metabolic acidosis. Then we have discussed the metabolic alkalosis, like chloride responsive, chloride resistant, and exogenous addition of base. Then we discuss the respiratory acidosis. It's due to hypoventilation and any cause that depress the respiratory center or decrease the rate of minute ventilation leads to respiratory acidosis. And respiratory alkalosis is due to any cause that cause the hyperventilation. Okay, let's discuss the case. 30-year-old lady with type 1 diabetes mellitus present to emergency department with abdominal pain and vomiting with typical fruity smell. As soon as she reaches the hospital, she goes into semi-conscious state. On examination, she is dehydrated, increased respiratory rate, and laboratory findings show the hyperglycemia, increase the blood glucose level, and urine present urine ketone body is present. ABG finding are pH 7.30, bicarbonate 20, partial pressure of carbon dioxide 30 mmHg. What is your clinical diagnosis? Please arrive your clinical diagnosis based on this ABG finding. It's the 7.30, so it's obvious metabolic, it's acidosis, and there is a decrease in bicarbonate, and there is a decrease in partial pressure of carbon dioxide. So decrease in pH with decrease in bicarbonate. So primary disorder is the metabolic acidosis, and compensatory mechanism is respiratory alkalosis. So clinical diagnosis is metabolic acidosis with compensatory respiratory alkalosis. Thank you.